Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome to another RPG News Roundup, this time for May 4th, 2024, where each week I take a look back at the week in tabletop, computer, and console role-playing game news and bring you the highlights. With that, let's dive right on into computer and console role-playing game news. It looks like Dread Delusion is leaving early access on May 14th. It has been in early access for a few years now. It is an open-world adventure RPG set in a series of flying continents full of curious towns. There's occult secrets and powerful magic. It has the feel of 3D RPGs of the early 2000s. I believe Morrowind is said as one of its inspirations. Aster, Blade of the Monolith, is set to release on May 30th. It will target the PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X/S, as well as the Switch. It looks like it draws inspiration from things like Devil May Cry and Bayonetta, as well as the Zelda series. Dungeons of Hinterberg is set to release on July 18th. It looks like it has you exploring around the village of Hinterberg as well as the dungeons around it. It has a combination of puzzles, combat platforming, and so forth with a distinct Zelda-style theme. Again, looks like Zelda-focused things are becoming RPGs, I guess. Keylocker is set to release this summer. It will be targeted for the PC and the Xbox Series X/S. The other platforms that had been announced for it are not yet listed, so it remains to be seen if it's going to come out on those. It looks to be set on a future Saturn where music has been prohibited. It will feature turn-based tactical combat with a rhythm gameplay. Arhakon is getting a release into early access, set for second quarter of this year. It is a turn-based tactical dungeon crawler. It looks like it's inspired by such things as Path of Exile, Darkest Dungeon, and so forth. Labyrinth, the Wizard's Cat, looks to be released in the second quarter of this year as well. It looks like a rather simple, classic, cute little dungeon crawler where you enter a dungeon and try to find a master wizard's missing cat. It definitely has a retro pixel feel as well as that cute storyline. Beyond Galaxyland is set for release on the PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X/S, as well as the Switch later this year. It is an adventure RPG that takes place in a futuristic setting after the destruction of Earth. You play as a human who gets transported to another solar system just prior to the destruction. As far as actual releases go, Front Mission 2 Remake saw its release. The second in the tactical RPG series, Front Mission, or at least the remakes thereof, you play the part of 3 characters during a conflict involving large mechas. Great Houses of Calderia is a grand strategy/RPG hybrid. It is a game based on a feudal society where you run a noble family seeking to compete against rivals in trade, scheming, and battle. It looks like it's described as basically Crusader Kings, but with more focus on the RPG aspect. King Island 2 is an action flash RPG, sequel to King Island, now available on Steam. Looks like there's been a few of these where it's old flash games that have been put on Steam. It looks like your basic Diablo-like, where you can customize your character's abilities and attributes and point and click through the land with a hack-and-slash combat. Fantasy Quest Aaron Saga is a party-based action RPG and strategy RPG revolving around a mercenary agency. You assemble your own mercenary squad and deal with various assignments. Dragon Ruins is a sort of micro-game in an old-school dungeon-crawling format, relatively inexpensive. It has you assembling a party of 4 heroes going into a dungeon and variously growing stronger to survive. You face a dragon's lair at the end. It looks like battles are automatic, where you simply decide whether to fight or run away, and there's a new game plus mode. It looks like it's an enhanced version of something that was released for the Dungeon Crawler Jam in 2024, which I need to start doing these programming jams, but I already have very limited time. Medieval Blacksmith is a sandbox simulation RPG where you play medieval blacksmith, of course. It allows you to take on a ruined shop and design and improve several different types of weapons while basically, improving things. Lord of Tower is just an action roguelike RPG where you face off against various bosses on each floor of a tower and conquer your way up. Just go up the tower, I guess. Finally, there is Crop and Claw, a classic JRPG. It looks like it takes influence from old 8-bit style RPGs in which you are in a realm known as the Garden where plant life has gone awry. With that, let's get on to tabletop role-playing game news. This one kind of straddles the line here because Hasbro has made a decent investment in video games as of their last update. It looks like they've invested over $1 billion, including work on a new D&D game. They're going to be trying to get that Baldur's Gate 3 magic recaptured with another title. We'll see. Anyway, Star Trek Adventures 2nd Edition has pre-orders open on the Modifius site. It looks like it will be released in August of 2024. On towards minor and PDF releases, Samurai Sheepdog has Names Games May 23rd, 2023 collection. It's a collection of material for Pathfinder 2nd Edition that includes various ancestries and heritages, as well as other results of May from last year. They also have the Stonehewn Legacy number 4, The Dragon's Doorway, for the Lands of Thea setting. It's a Pathfinder adventure that continues the Stonehewn Legacy adventure path. Orders of the Realm from Eldritch Osiris Games is a compendium of 6 archetypes for various factions in Pathfinder format. Legendary Games has legendary classes of Bloodline Disciple for Pathfinder for 1st edition. It offers 15 various prestige classes bundled into Bloodlines for Dragon Disciples. Tombstone Gazetteer is a collection of previously published ancestries for the Pathfinder 2nd edition system. Sneak Attack Press has This and That, Compass and Sextant. It is a compilation of material for navigation, including real-world history of navigation, navigation in a fantasy setting, optional rules, various tools, some new magic items and monsters, and is available in 5th edition and Pathfinder 2nd edition, as well as Savage World versions. The Eye of Everywhere is a 5th edition style supplement and includes a multiverse spanning portals and a city that surrounds it. There's a player's guide as well as a game master's guide, and there's also a different version available in Pathfinder 2nd edition. Eldritch Shadows number 1. The Color Out of Space is a 5th edition conversion of the classic Lovecraft tale into an adventure suited for level 5 characters. That's actually one of my favorite of his works. Kind of early in his canon, too, so it doesn't have some of the things that later ones do in terms of mythos and such, but it still has that feel. It's a really good story. You should check it out. Night in Aurora from Elven Foundry is a 5th edition one-shot adventure for beginning characters that deals with a quiet village where a night hag has been trying to retrieve a powerful magic item. 5e RPG Giant Adventures is a campaign setting inspired by Nordic myth that centers around giants. It includes new spells, subclasses, various tactics for giants, several giant lairs, some new subspecies, new weapons, ruins, giant themes, monsters, and so forth. A Fairly Odd Tale is an adventure for level 5 characters where the party is sent to parley with a mysterious witch. It is also available in a Dungeon Crawl Classics version. Free League Publishing has a few offerings for the Symbaroum setting. There is Ruins of Symbaroum, the World of Symbaroum, that includes a description of the Ruins of Symbaroum game world with a 5th edition rule set. They also have the Throne of Thorns number 1, which is the start of a 6-part campaign for that same setting using that same rule set. Kelphicill's Tales once more has a number of dungeon packs out, each one with an adventure as well as an associated bounty with it. It looks like it's Alchemical Dreams, Tax Hostages, Gamer's Den, Cult of the Unknown, and Shrine of Doom, which my voice-to-text completely butchered. So there is that. Anyway, moving onwards, Adventure Ripples has Lost Labyrinth, Secret to the Pharaohs, a 5th edition compatible adventure suited for level 7 characters that deals with a labyrinth lost beneath the sands of a desert. Chronicles of Ivrea, The Dragon's Dance, is available in print and is an adventure book for the 5th edition set in the World of Ivrea setting. It is suited for levels 12 to 15. In the Dead of Night is a 5th edition compatible adventure suited for a multi-session play set around the town of Mistlebrow. The Tempest's Eye is a 5th edition adventure for the Ardenfell setting. It is suited for level 5 characters and has some cult and horror themes. Horrors of the Deep is a campaign setting guide for 5th edition that covers a sort of island-style area with the material to set campaigns around the isolated islands. It includes various monsters as well as magical weapons and other player options. Kobold Press has a book of Hexcrawl, Part 2, How to Hexcrawl. It continues the work of the first part of the Sandbox series and includes a sort of survival mode with exhaustion tracking rules, tables for weather and difficult terrain and so forth, and basically things you need for hex crawling. The Hag's Bazaar is a 5th edition supplement that has a merchant and NPC along with various items for uncommon through legendary variety. Beasts and Botanicals, Volume 1, The Witches of Eruses, is a 5th edition supplement that includes stats and lore on a group of witches as well as their giant chickens. Wondrous and Perilous Treasures, Volume 2, is a 5th edition volume that includes various magic items, including weapons, armor, animal items, and so forth. There's also an old school version available. Another round of adventures has been released from various publishers for the Black Flag role-playing system, also known as Tales from the Valiant. They are also available in a bundle. Kobold Press has The Clattering Keep. There is The Fiddler's Lament from Legendary Games. Valhalla Awaits, The Ragnarok Prophecy from Nerdarchy. They came from from Necromancer Games, and Thrown in Bones, Keep of the Drowned Wolf from Lazy Wolf Studios. Exhuming John Barleycorn is a Dungeon Crawl Classics adventure in a folk horror style that deals with a tragedy that happened a year ago, and now the Barley Moon is on the rise and a reckoning is about to come. Cursed from Bardic Mischief is a adventure for the Shadowdark RPG that deals with a Merkmire Keep, where the current Lord is wrestling with an ancient curse. Aganthor's Tribute is a Shadowdark adventure suitable for 4th level characters that deals with a wizard and his adventuring troupe that defended a kingdom from a millennial ago. The kingdom built a tribute for them, and then centuries have since passed. It's said to still be full of treasure. Twisted Tales Issue 3 is a Shadowdark zine that includes various material, including a 90-room mega dungeon, a rundown village, many new monsters, and more. D12 Monthly offers issue 35, which has some various classes and class-related material for old school essentials, including the Bard, Barbarian, and Ranger classes, various articles on multiclassing, alternate abilities, kits, monsters, and so forth. The Tower of the Elephant is a sword and sorcery style old school essentials and OSR version of the classic Conan tale, adapting the tower from that particular short story into an adventure. I actually did a reading of that short story when I had this channel idea. You can see it on my main page, whatever, Appendix N or whatever, where I was going to read various sword and sorcery old school style stories. I got like 3 videos in and then just decided not to do it anymore. If anybody wants to see any more of that, let me know. I mean, I don't have a lot of time, but I could read a story every so often. Anyway, Lands of Meridian, Beneath the Grey Veil, number 1, A Plague of Rats, is an old school essentials adventure designed for level 1 characters set up in a bustling port city. Mad Scribe Games has Baptism of Fire, available in print. It is an OSR RPG set during the dawn of the Polish monarchy in the early medieval period. It is both a rulebook and a setting following a medieval authentic style set in historical Earth. Sub-Zero Shenanigans is a quick quest for Dragonbane. It deals with a scholar who has hired the adventurers to go into a glacier looking for elemental ice. Celtic Character Options is exactly what it says on the tin, a Dragonbane supplement that draws on British and Irish legend and includes various abilities, professions, spells, and so forth. Little Red Goblin Games has the Gestalt RPG. It's got a core rulebook that includes various lineages, cultures, classes, items, feats, spells, and general rules. There is the GM's Guide to Mayhem and Madness, which includes the GM-facing rules, as well as the Book of Beasties, a sort of bestiary. Jackdaw Role-Playing Games has 2 more supplements for their Fear the Reaver mythical role-playing game. There is Taint of Thieves, it includes various adventure ideas, as well as Shadow in the Shire, which includes some more adventure ideas. Rosewood Abbey is powered by the Apocalypse-style RPG inspired by In the Name of the Rose, as well as Brother Cadfael, that offers a sort of mysteries in a medieval period, I'm assuming around the Rosewood Abbey. Precus Intermedia has The Werewolf of Europe, a classic reprint of an adventure for man, myth, and magic. Modifius has a slew of offerings for various systems out. There is One More Quest, the core rulebook, which is a humorous role-playing game where you throw dice as a sort of target. There's also the Adventures Mixtape for that, which includes adventures for that system. Rangers of Shadowdeep, A Gathering of Heroes, is an expansion for the Rangers of Shadowdeep RPG. Country Road Z core rulebook is a rulebook for an RPG centered around rural survival in a zombie apocalypse. Battle Space is an RPG of ultra-modern military combat and is suited for solo gaming. Finally, they have 5 Parsecs from Home, Compendium, and Bug Hunt, which the Bug Hunt is also available separately. It involves the various add-ons for 5 Parsecs from Home, which is a sci-fi RPG, as well as the adventure Bug Hunt. Moving onward, Ronin Saga is a classless, levelless RPG with an OSR background inspired by Japanese folklore. Farthest is a mini-adventure for Frontier Scum, where the characters are trapped on an ice floe and must explore the white desert of snow in order to hold out until a melt will allow their ship to move. Chew, the role-playing game, is a sort of crime drama for foodies, a style role-playing game that involves various mysteries with a food background. I understand it's based on a comic, and it uses the Forged in the Dark rules. The Untrodden Ways is an urban fantasy novel-style RPG, and the bundle includes a player's guide, character's guide, and world guide. It is built on the Ironsworn rules. Renegade Game Studios has Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition Player's Guide. It's basically the Renegade Game Studios release of it, as well as Blood Sigils, which is a source book dealing with the underground blood magic scene, and Bloodstained Love, which is a source book that offers information on romance scenarios in a vampire. Gee. Our Woodland Gods is a cozy folk horror RPG. It has you playing a villager who is part of a cult, and then just a few days ago your god has died. Hypercorpse 2099 from Legendary Games is available in print for the What is Old is New system. It deals with the world where the 1876 and 2076 timelines are combined into one. Mongoose has Starship Operator's Manual from the Traveler system and covers all the aspects of life aboard starships, including the workings of them, how to operate advanced sensors, and so forth. Psi Hunters is for the CPS engine and includes a new playable career, some various underground Psi school generators, some Psi criminals and NPCs. Faster Than Light Nomad from Stellagama Publishing is a science fiction role-playing game presenting a streamlined RPG focused on interstellar adventuring. It includes a D6 or 2D6 style combat mechanic, customizable character creation, some psionics rules, streamlined combat, various equipment, vehicle combat, robot design rules, and more. I'm actually curious how it compares to their other CPS Deluxe and similar sci-fi offerings using very similar sounding systems. Finally, there is Price of Freedom, a 3-part campaign from those who are from Zozer Games for the hostile setting using the CPS engine stuff. Anyway, on to crowdfunding campaigns. Remember that contributing to a crowdfunding campaign should be done only at your own risk. Doing so is no guarantee of even receiving a product. Mentioned here is not an endorsement, but is for informational purposes only. There were actually quite a few computer and console role-playing game Kickstarters that caught my eye this week. There's Food Devils, which will be a strategy RPG, roguelite, and base building style RPG. You sign a contract with various food devils, then hunt and cook various creatures, meaning to build up your restaurant. Dungeon Degenerates, The Battle for Brutalberg, looks to be a dark fantasy beat-em-up style RPG with an 8-bit look. Crown Code Chronicles will be a story-driven JRPG game with turn-based combat systems where you follow a time-traveling prince meaning to save his loved ones. And then Golem looks like it wants to be a 3D action roguelike set in a city where you try to explore it in order to track down and defeat a golem. Onward towards tabletop crowdfunding, you got Queen of Atlantis, which looks to fund a set of adventures for 5th edition. It'll have you shaping a chaotic kingdom through several different adventures. One Session Crawl, Under Caves and Labyrinths looks to be a 5th edition set of 5 one-shot dungeons to explore. €1 one-shot deals with the Creature of Colcrag Mine. It is to be a 5th edition compatible adventure with an investigation focus, which features a mine plagued by terror where the miners refuse to deal with the mine by themselves, thinking they are being watched. Epic Heroes Encyclopedia, Volume 4, Druid, looks to expand the Druid class for 5th edition up to 30th level with appropriate content throughout, similar to the other ones in the series. Liar's Guide to Risk and Reward looks to be a 5th edition it's a 5th edition Bestiary and Treasury, as well as a GM toolkit that offers over 200 NPCs, various magic items and artifacts suited for 5th edition. Anyway, Drop-In Villains and Factions looks to be a collection of 5th edition villains meant to challenge players. It looks like it will include a dozen big bad evil guys, as well as example campaigns, various story hooks, and more. World Builders Traps will be a 5th edition collection of 100 traps, simple enough. Cosmologia will be a planar guide for Dungeon Crawl Classics RPG, and will examine the various planes of existence and provide resources and material, including various types of genies, some demons, archons, devils, angels, and so forth. Delve will be a collection of material for both 5th edition and Shadow Dark. It is apparently a resource on building and surviving deadly dungeons with dungeons, monsters, traps, magic items, player options, and so forth for those two systems, some of which were designed by a number of notable online D&D personalities. The Creeping Darkness will be an adventure for Dragon's Bane. It will look like it's already been released in Swedish before, and this will be the English translation. Advanced Fighting Fantasy Adventure Creation System will be a set of rules, systems, and tools meant to create solo or group adventures for the Advanced Fighting Fantasy RPG, which itself is based on the old Fighting Fantasy rule books, game books from way back when, but produced into a proper role-playing game. If you haven't played it yet, it's worth a look, I think. Harn World, Kingdom of Kandé, looks to be the latest in a series of hardcover editions for the various kingdoms of Harn, detailing the land and people therein. Kandé is a feudal kingdom in southwestern Harn. I do not have enough money to get into the Harn stuff. Dark Lord March of Darkness looks to be a tabletop RPG from Chamomile, where you play the villain and includes various new dark domains. Star Anvil Studios is looking to fund The Secret World for Savage Worlds, similar to the recent release, The Secret World, which is based on the MMORPG from Funcom. This one will adapt it to the Savage World system instead of the 5th edition system. Atomic Age Core Rules looks to be a post-apocalyptic role-playing game, as well as an integrated setting developed by Darklight Interactive. It'll be a D20-based role-playing game set in the United States after post-apocalyptic events have reshaped the world. Finally, there's Existential Essential, a cyberpunk meets cosmic horror RPG with a sort of tongue-in-cheek dystopian theme. And with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. This has been the RPG Crawler, my RPG News Roundup for May 4th, 2024. As always, links will be below. If you like what you've seen, remember to leave a like, comment, feedback, and subscribe for more RPG content. I'm going to redo my end screen because I think I'm going to start pushing Subscribestar a little bit more because I've fallen under the subscriber threshold for Subscribestar. Now I can't get my money out. So hopefully I will be focusing on getting more reviews out. I got some tabletop reviews lined up. Don't worry, I'm not going to just do computer role-playing game reviews. Although I have some more of those. What I need is like just 8 more hours in every day, and then I'm good. Anyway, until next time, take care and goodbye.
And if you are still watching, I would like to take the opportunity to thank my supporters, the top tiers of which are listed on the screen, without whose support I would not have been able to offer the variety of content that I have on this channel throughout the years. If you're feeling particularly generous and would like to join them, you can support the channel. There are a variety of options to do so. I have a Patreon, a Subscribestar, as well as channel memberships enabled. If you are not in a position to contribute, simply leaving a like, a comment, or sharing my videos are all wonderful ways to help the channel grow without spending a dime, and are all greatly appreciated.